west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west till the death till they bury me. One west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west till the death till they bury me. I be one west till the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy and get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every bar nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back to start, make you live again. Get a dividend till we start getting ignorant. I be on that soda shit. I told you shit phenomenal. Nominee a domino. So what you fucking trying to do? Rhyming comical, this is funny until I'm bombing you. Bring apocalypse to the pussy niggas that's popping shit. Team my all-stars, I coach them up like a Popovich. Fuck the politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we gon' check them like gynecologists. It's kinda obvious how the situation is out. It's the way I'm rhyming this and regurgitate for the audience. It's all applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid. She got a retarded sense. All the dominance. One west rising and prominent. Cause I be one west to the depth till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the depth till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the depth till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the depth till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, use my maneuvers, but I rhyme like I got good time for Uber. Rhymes hard like the reviews by Medusa. 9 milli Lucas, 17 in the ruler. Only need a few to sit up in your medulla. Obligata, put a regatta, niggas wildin' they win every dollar. They rhyme by like send me holler, but showstoppers in the robbers in the titty bopper. But now I'm going on patrol and bring me on my vodka. I put stickers on the clock, mine around the chopper. It's more heavy, more ready, and it's worth the mama. Don't ever wanna say I got the loudest silence on it. When I'm a bowling, ain't no rapper doing like I do it. A lot of spitters and writers, but when they eat, so it's really to get the fire right with me. And I had a nigga spit like a tire and a beat. And I'm still buzzing some paper. Every bar I burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Ignite up, when it coming through with the silence because I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me.
Warrior with the hands, that's what I'm all about. Hunger in my eyes, vengeance in my mouth. They don't want no altercation. Situation gon' be critical. It's best that you be easy. The end gon' be biblical. Look, flow like a river. It's something like a miracle. Royalty in my veins, loyalty in my ways. Payback in every word, plus revenge in my heart. The truth in every word. Bring light into the dark. And I ain't never lukewarm. Shit, I blazing in the season. Got plenty food for thought. Just gotta watch who I'm beating. I've been walking with them angels. So I guess I got this pistol for no reason. Niggas barely breathing, criticizing all my achievements. Won't make me weak. Nah, it won't make me slack off. These niggas baby fat, so I better bear witness or back off. I be ripping shit like sackcloth. No dogs all barked out. Behind me say I come full. No room for emotion. So I pour my heart out. This road hard, but I intend to stay. And if it ain't UPK, then they in the way. My niggas righteous, they real, they down to something. Flow so deep, they drown a motherfucker. He say he in the truth, oh yeah? Well, this the home. And I don't hate them brothers, I'm just too loyal to my own. Plus what they believe, hard for me to follow. Don't rank me no head. And I ain't leaving this body to live and sleep in hollow. So when they ask I'm UPK, we tell them absolutely. And I ain't trimming my ways for nothing. Gotta execute me. Cause I can never die with my tail tucked between my legs. Shit I be thinking. Watching my daughters tucked in their bed. They so smart. And Alana, she's so beautiful. But they ain't like other babies. And they bad and far from usual. And I'm missing cause I'm about my father's business. It ain't about the shit I used to do in that 98 Navy and 10 level seats. See, without wisdom, this world make you weak. I found out that the truth was bitter. The lies are sweet. hitman shit. She call me 47. Praying for Armageddon. Me and my soldiers dressed for the wedding. Fuck the fame. And why tell them I'm loyal to the king. Until the righteous reign. Loyal to the king. I want that straight lane to break the chain. Loyal to the king. The devils can't have the bitch. I'm loyal to the king. Bring that hot blood, new bitch. Ain't loyal to the king. Until the righteous reign. Loyal to the king. I want that straight lane to break the chain. Loyal to the king. The devils can't have the bitch. I'm loyal to the king. Bring that hot blood, new bitch. Ain't loyal to the king.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Damn right, I'm a UPK nigga, straight out of one west, looking best, we the best to the niggas who's living, trying to contend with the stress, going through the test, no access, pressure to press the slaves, niggas is dying off in waves, living in dirt, I was afraid, niggas cross-talk through the crosswalk, or the white chalk, over the bodies of those that you paid, Americans killing us, saying they fearing us with the drugs in the hood, now my niggas delirious with a gun in my face, all because of my race, quick, boom, flash, with the skills to murder my ass, like a sheep in the slaughter, I'm beating harder and harder, baptized with these words, never dipping me water, son, I'll be praising the Father, if shelter the Father that's looking for the marauder, this fucking taking my daughter's nigga, it's wartime, lights up, nigga, showtime, after green lights, boy, that ass, yeah, no time, either boot up, shut up, we get your ass up, so we ain't got time to be playing, it's all fucked up America, as for the detail, for the slave, people what you sold, meaning giving back what you gave, who was named slave, trying to imitate, you was always fake America, every city, state, this is your fate, whoa, 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 to America, whoa, 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 to America, whoa, 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 to America, whoa, 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 to America.
On the timeline, giving them one to expose the intricacies of the vibe. You don't mind, I ain't shit, but people it is a pastime. So in a minute, I'm outside. I hope you get it when you deep when you crash fly. Can I simple if you feel it, that's your last line. You're a little confused with bad mind. A damn shame, that's the exact thing with the jazz fry. Bombs from the sky, rich double lullaby. Then the nigga fly, but we got alibi. Bombs from the sky, rich double lullaby. Devil, this is high. See it from the parking lot, never feeling ball out. That was from the fall out, all out warfare, nightmares in the big house. The murder for years and thinking shit won't turn around. I never learned from this motherfucker burns down. Yeah, in the streets, holding the riches for all of you haters. Bring hope to this beast. You reach for a time when we play for keeps. I pray to my Father, bring hope to this beast. Remember the times we hung on the trees. All of you nations bow down to your knees. Remember the shit they brought us in fleets. Fuck they apologies, bring them the heat. Whoa, 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 to America. Whoa, whoa, to America. Whoa, 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 to America. Whoa, 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 to America.
God is going to destroy his empire, my nigga. You about to see famine in this place. You think them fires in California is bad? That's just the beginning of what the Lord is about to do. Because you've been evil to the Lord's people. You've been wicked to the Most High's children, man. You've been destructive to the 12 tribes of Israel. Let me tell you something, black man. You got to put on your strength now, man. Put back on your strength and might, black man, because your day is coming. Your day is coming because the Lord is going to bring judgment on this earth. This for my people. This for my people. Yeah, this for my people. This for my people. This for my people. Yeah, this for my people. For the white man, 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 for the white man. Painted by the Spanish. Get a whole lot of damage. Shit was outlandish. Banks got branded. Split apart the family, then shipped across the Atlantic. So many died from the famine. Through the dead bodies of a boy shark, they the Mike Salmon. I know you can't stand it. I speak the truth, goddammit. Big business got managed, dig it double back. Came to pick up on the blacks. Put speed of fire back, we never got to relax. The king to set us free, but dig it double back without a crash. The temple gang, get the
keep it real, I ain't born for it. Beat a couple court cases, had a warrant for it. So my mama ain't forever did time, I'ma raise up the whole yard. Have a lawyer like, oh Lord, this is the attorney at it, more charges. No problem, ain't tripping, thumbing through the scriptures. Behind me said the Lord with your boy, that's a small issue. Bounce back out the rebound. UPK got the heat now. They done let me out the leash now, teaching in the streets now. Part of love tribe south, but it started in the east now. Look, this for my people. This for my people. Yeah, this for my people. This for my people. This for my people. Yeah, this for my people. For the white man, 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 this for my people. This for my people. Yeah, this for my people. This for my people. This for my people. Yeah, this for my people. For the white man, 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 for the white man,
Clap it up. Hey, Shalom, Israel. We are the Isupk, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. If it's not of Isupk 1 West under Commanding General Yohana, it is not the truth. My name is Priest and Officer of 500 Mayad. I'm joined today by my main man, Priest and Officer of 500 Lakam Yala. And this is the Monday night Brotherhood class at Shalom Lord Christ. You know what I mean? Oh, as you know, every Monday night, you know what I'm saying, this class right here is about Shalom Lord Christ. This class here is about brotherhood. This is about how to be a brother, how to respect your brother, how to love your brother, how to be a better brother to your brother. That's something that America wants us not to be. That's where our strength lies, in our brotherhood and our unity. We become better men because we are brothers to each other. We become better husbands because we are brothers because of brotherhood, because we're brothers to each other. You know what I mean? If you treat your brother like you want to be treated, as the scriptures say, you are going to be a better person. You are going to be a stronger man. You are going to be a better husband, because you're going to look at the next man and want no harm to him, and you're going to do what it takes to help him rise along with you. You're going to raise your nation along with you. You're not going to be a selfish bastard.
That's right.
You're not going to be ignorant. You're not going to want to bring unnecessary harm to your brother because you want to see your brother uplifted. And how would it make you a better husband? Because you'll realize that that woman is not your blood relative, physically is not your physical sister, but spiritually that is your sister. And what you would want, how you want a man to treat your sister. Even some of you might say, well, I don't have a sister.
Right.
Well, if you had a sister, you have a mother, you got an auntie, you got a cousin, you got some female in your family that you care about, or you have a female best friend or whatever. You know what I mean? You got some female somewhere in your life that you give a damn about. If you are a good brother to that female, then you should be a good brother to your wife.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Treat that woman like she is your blood, because she is your family. You know what I'm saying? You don't abuse your blood. You don't abuse your relatives. You don't abuse your mother, your cousin, your auntie, your sister. You know what I'm saying? You do out of your way to protect them.
Right.
And that's how you're supposed to be with your wife. So brotherhood is such an important topic in Israel. Brotherhood is such an important spirit in Israel, because it's what's going to make us whole again. It's what's going to make, if you could, Baba, sorry, grab Zephaniah 2.
Come.
The spirit of brotherhood lies all throughout the scriptures. Christ looked at the disciples as his brothers. He let his family go to go on the Lord's mission with his brothers right next to his side.
That's right.
So brotherhood is simply what Zephaniah 2:1 is going to tell you. This is what the Lord demands of us. This is what the Lord tells us. He requires this of us. You know what I mean? It's the spirit behind the type of brotherhood that we should exhibit. If you could, Baba.
Come. The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together.
Do what?
Gather yourselves together.
See, the Lord said for us to gather together, unite with your brother.
Right.
Come together as one body, one mind, be on one accord.
That's right.
You know what I mean? All this separation, all of this
being scattered and he my ops, she my ops, that's she a thought, this, that, and all of that nonsense that the world has programmed into you is just keeping you from uniting with your brothers and sisters.
That's right.
It's all designed for you to look down upon the very nation of people that have bled next to you for hundreds of years in this country.
That's right.
That have lived in the same broken down, dilapidated circumstances that you have lived in.
Right.
We have all lived at the bottom of the barrel in this country for over 400 years.
That's right.
The worst thing, the only thing is, as time grows and society so-called modernizes, we have learned to hate each other. We have learned to we have learned to separate from each other. We have learned to despise each other to the point where in the 80s and 90s, you know what I mean? They flooded cheap dope into the community. They left crates of automatic weapons and handguns in our community. And the first thing we did was start killing each other with them. We have been so beat down in this country. We have been so tortured and tormented in this country that all they had to do was lay a couple of little traps. And we fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. It's almost, there's a spirit on us. It's almost like we couldn't wait to start killing each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? It didn't take, I mean, it took a lot, but on the same token, it didn't take much. You know what I mean? And if you could continue that scripture.
Come, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
The nation not desired. Show me a nation of people on this planet. Show me anybody on this planet that's more undesirable to the world than Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians.
Right.
They have been shoved off into the worst possible areas that you can imagine in this country and everywhere else they are in the world. You go into Europe, you go into the UK, you go to London, you go to Jamaica, you go to Haiti, you go to you go to what's that place being bombed in the smithereens? You go to the Ukraine. You know what I mean? Go anywhere, go to Africa. Go to Israel, where the Jewish men and the Israelis are in charge. You know what I'm saying? Go anywhere where the people of the quote unquote diaspora are, and they are shoved into the absolute worst living conditions imaginable.
That's right.
Period. And then you say, well, what about the Hispanic people? They can't be Israelites. Mexicans got their own country. Puerto Ricans got their own country. Guatemalans have their own country. Blah, 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 blah. The list goes on, right? But do they really? Just because they live in a land, does that mean that they own that land? Does that mean that they're the ruling class in that land?
Right.
You know what I mean? All these Hispanic nations are ruled by Spanish people.
That's right.
And when I say Spanish people, don't get it confused. I'm talking about from Spain.
Right.
I'm talking about Spaniards. Spaniards are Europeans.
That's right.
Okay, they still speak Latin. They speak Spanish. That's it. That's the difference. Okay, they are the ones that rule. The Spanish rule. Spain rules Mexico.
That's right.
Spain rules Puerto Rico, Guatemala, Dominican Republic, Cuba. You know what I'm saying? You go anywhere where they speak Spanish and they're ruled by the Spaniards.
That's right.
So get that nonsense out of your head. Oh, Mexicans got Mexico. They got their own country. So the hell what? The Spaniards over there running it.
Right.
Okay. And the situations over there are so deplorable, you can't walk the streets. And in a lot of those cities over there, you can't walk the streets after dark. You will die. They will cut your head off.
Right.
Period, point blank. They live in some of the most deplorable conditions that you would ever want to live in, just like we do over here.
That's right.
They live in the same violence. They got the same statistics. They got the drugs. They got the STDs. They got the murder rate. They have everything that we have over here. Those are all our brothers. They are part of the nation, not desired, as Zephaniah 2:1 said. So we are to gather ourselves together because we are not desired on this planet. And the more that we act a fool, the more undesirable we can become, which leads me to the topic of our class today. Will Smith. Everybody across the world is talking about Will Smith. Everybody saw that spectacle that he made last night.
Right.
You know what I mean? First thing, soon as I woke up this morning, I couldn't even get half an eye open. You know what I mean? First thing thankfully, the Most High is splendid, because first thing I heard this morning was my brother Kazawan giving me a call to ask about school business.
Right.
You know what I mean? To ask about the work of the Lord. So that's the first thing I heard this morning. Nigga woke me up. No, I mean, I'm also joined by Precinct Officer 500 Kazawan. You know what I mean? Give it up. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? But first thing I heard this morning was my brother calling me about school business, about something to do with the work of the Lord. Second thing I hear, Will Smith. Will Smith, it's been Will Smith all damn day. Listen, what Will Smith did last night was deplorable.
Right.
It was absolutely horrible. It was absolutely embarrassing. It was so what's the word I'm looking for? Not derogatory, not degenerative. There's so many words I could use to describe how horrible it was for the Black community to not only witness that last night, but to be a part of the community that he comes from that displayed those actions for the world to see.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you could, Bobby Shaw, give me Deuteronomy 28:54 real quick. So we got to get to the root of what happened last night. And the best root that you can ever get to is the Bible. These scriptures lets you know why all of these things go on. See, we think because a man like Will Smith and a man like Chris Rock, they got so much money. I mean, Will Smith is one of the richest Black men in the world.
That's right.
He's one of the richest Black men in the world. You know what I mean? He's one of the most well-known actors, Black or white, but definitely the Black. You know what I'm saying? Will Smith is top tier.
That's right.
Chris Rock is an A-lister too. So what we have is two multi-millionaire Black men, Hollywood A-listers, beloved by the oppressor, worldwide fame, at the Oscars having a nigga moment. Let that sink in. And you know how that makes us look as a people? Do you know how foolish that looks? Do you know how much damage that has done to the image of the Black man?
Right.
They already got this bullcrap toxic masculinity thing that they talk about. And the poster boy for toxic masculinity is the Black man.
That's right.
Now, Will Smith, with all of his good guy Will acting, with all of that, hey, Fresh Prince bull crap,
Right.
never gets mad. Doesn't have a hateful bone in his body.
Right.
He loves everybody. Will Smith is white Jesus. He loves everybody.
Right.
All you have to do is believe in him. You know what I mean? So many people adore Will Smith and love him worldwide, and they think he's just such a great guy. Well, how come he didn't show that same love and compassion to his brothers?
Right.
How come he felt so overwhelmed that he had to go and publicly embarrass the hell out of Chris Rock? And we'll get deeper into it. I'm about to get ahead of myself. If you could, Baba Gashan, let's see what the Lord has to say. Why Will Smith? Will Smith doesn't even know why he did what he did last night on a spiritual level. But this is one of the reasons that Will Smith did what he did last night. If you could, Baba Gashan.
Come on. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 54.
Read.
So that the man that is tender among you.
So that what?
That the man that is tender among
Now,
you.
no one can ever say that Will Smith is not a tender man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's not an insult to the brother. You know, he's always laughing and joking. He always tries to keep a smile on his face. He seems like he's always positive.
Right.
You know what I mean? He seems like he just, he's non-aggressive. You know what I mean? Except for in his movies when he has to be. You know what I mean? So in real life, Will Smith seems like the ultimate good guy.
That's right. Right.
You know what I mean? You wouldn't think that Will Smith would Will Smith seemed like the kind of cat, if he found a spider in his crib, He's going to scoop it up with a newspaper, take it out to the sliding door. Here you go, little fella. You know what I mean? He seems like that type of dude. You know, he's not going to squash the roaches in his crib. He's going to try to sweep it out the door and tell it to go have a good life.
Right.
You know what I mean? He might even make a real roach motel, not the one we use to kill them, the one they can go and live in with a little jacuzzi.
Right.
You know what I mean? His roaches live like Hollywood roaches. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of personality that Will Smith apparently had. You know? So Will Smith is the man that reached out of the top of that.
Con.
This scripture describes Will Smith last night perfectly. Read.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate.
And what?
And very delicate.
Now, there's also no doubt that Will Smith is a delicate brother.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Hell, everybody has seen the memes. Will Smith is, you got, if you want to put a meme up of a black man feelings being hurt and crying, it's two of them that you put up. You put up Will Smith and Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm sorry, and Tyrese. You know what I mean? If you're putting up a meme about a brother crying, those are the ones that you put up. But Will Smith is definitely well known for being a tender and delicate brother. You know what I mean? So if you could, once more, start that scripture from the top.
Come on, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate.
So this tender brother who doesn't have a harmful negative bone in his body. He's very tender. He's very delicate. You know what I mean? He's not the type of brother that you would think would go and hurt anybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In his nature, he just wants everybody to get along. He wants everything to be peaceful. He wants everybody to live. You know what I mean? He's a little emotional. You know what I mean? He's delicate, so he is sensitive.
Right.
Don't get it wrong now. But in his everyday life, doesn't want to harm a fly, except read.
His eye shall be evil toward his brother.
His what?
His eyes shall be evil toward his brother.
Now, if you saw the Will Smith look when he sat down and said, "Keep my wife's effing name out your mouth," did you see the evil in his eyes while he looked at his brother, Chris Rock? He looked at Chris Rock with such hatred and disdain that it was everybody in the audience was like, "Who?" He caused an entire room, an auditorium full of people to go silent. When he first walked up, everybody thought it was a comedy skit. Everybody thought it was something, a joke, until he screamed that out. And then he screamed it out even louder with even more aggression. And he looked at Chris Rock like he wanted to kill him.
That's right.
He looked at Chris Rock like he wanted to run up there and rip that brother apart for no good reason.
That's right.
Now, a lot of people out there saying that he defended his wife's honor. Did he really? All Chris Rock did was tell a slightly offensive joke. How many offensive jokes has Chris Rock told? Chris Rock was doing what comedians do, especially at award shows.
Right.
He was roasting the audience. He was talking about the various members of the audience. And for years, I've watched them tell plenty of cruel jokes. You know what I mean? Harsh-spirited jokes when it comes to people in the audience at them award shows.
If I could, sir.
Go right ahead.
What you're saying is so heavy because if everybody watches Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, all Will Smith is known for is cracking jokes on people.
Yep.
He's known for mocking everybody else and everybody else's relatives. But when it come back on him, it's offensive.
Right.
Because now it's back on him. So
right. No, you're 12. And what you're bringing out is so heavy because people are saying he's defending his wife's honor, and she's really sensitive about her alopecia. All right, so many sisters in this world suffer from that illness, that disease. And I'll be honest with you. It's not like she's like that because she's in chemo from cancer. It's not like Jada Pinkett Smith has some really degenerative, debilitating disease that's harming her, that has taken her health and harming her life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that she's just in such a sensitive and dire position. That is far from the case. Sis, you lost your hair.
That's right.
You know what I mean? If you could, put a scripture with the Lord, you know where I'm going, right? Please do. We already know I'm going. The sister lost her hair. Hey, and I'm sure for as a black woman, you know, y'all are very sensitive about y'all hair. You know, my rib made a point. Black women have been mocked for years. You know what I mean? And the butt of jokes about being nappy headed and about their hair and this, that, and the third and blah, 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 blah. But my thing is, the black people have been at the butt of jokes for years. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like something new. You know what I'm saying? That her not having her hair, hey, that's just the way it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The Lord did that. You know what I mean? Did you find it?
I believe this is, sir.
It's-
First Corinthians 11 and 13.
Yeah, if you could bring it out nice and loud. So the Lord, see, here's the thing about it, right? Jada can't blame nobody but herself for her hair.
That's right.
Will can't blame nobody but his wife for her hair. He can't get mad at anybody about that. It's not Chris Rock's fault. The Lord did that to her. And this scripture is the proof. Read, if you would, Father Bashar.
It's like
Mm-hmm.
1 Corinthians 11 and 15.
Mm-hmm.
We want me to start at 14.
Con.
This might not be the one you're talking about. You talking about
Let me get there with
losing her hair, right?
Mm-hmm. Instead of
this is just talk about it being her glory.
you can bring that. You can do that.
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
Does not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? Verse 15. But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering.
Now the Lord. So here's the thing. Now I don't want to sound too Christian, but it said the Lord has given her that hair for a covering. It is glory to her. It's glorious. You know what I mean? So it's a reason behind the spirit. You know, she says she struggles with that alopecia. She said that it's something that she really has an issue with. You know what I mean? It affects her day-to-day life. And part of me can say, you know what, I feel bad for that sister. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not a cruel man. I understand it's something that tortures her on a day-to-day basis. But she needs to realize, Salakia, you got it. She needs to realize that the Lord gave her that beautiful hair that Jada used to have. And if you could, Baba Bashar.
Mm-hmm. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, the Lord said.
Moreover, who?
The Lord said.
So don't nobody go and say, man, that officer Mayad from the Isupk said this. No, the scriptures is telling you the Lord is saying this.
That's right.
The Lord gave her that beautiful hair that little curly little hair, little Jada Pinkett hairstyle. She's all cute back in the 90s. The Lord gave her that crown of glory. That was to be her glory and her covering.
That's right.
But also,
because the daughter of Zion are haughty.
Because what?
The daughters of Zion are haughty.
Because the daughters of Zion are haughty. Jada Pinkett is a daughter of Zion.
Right.
And her ways are terrible. She is a dragon to the 10th degree. She is an ultimate dragon.
Right.
You know what I mean? That woman is very, very evil and mean-spirited. Go ahead.
It's like, if I could, sir, it's heavy what you bringing out. You can, and even with the video that they brought out, as he was roasting her, you saw her do a fake smile and then kind of roll her eyes and look over at Will as if she was initiating Will to turn that I guess aggressiveness on.
I ain't gonna lie to you. You're getting ahead of me.
Oh,
I'm going there, but you are correct. See, that's that one mind, that one body, one mind. He already know. But no, what the brother's bringing out is so heavy, and I was gonna say that later, but I'll say it now. I said Jada Pinkett is a dragon. Okay, Jada Pinkett had a look in her eyes. Will kind of laughed a little bit at first, whether it was a nervous laugh, like my rib said, it might have been a nervous laugh or whatever, but whatever. Will giggled a little bit at first, but then he kind of, But what you saw on the side of Will was evil development. You
Right.
saw vengeance developing.
Right.
You saw her stewing and boiling. You saw that look in her face. Jada had a look in her eyes and a look on her face that was pure evil.
Right.
That woman was filled with anger at that off-the-cuff joke. And if you know, it took Will a little while to get up on stage. Want to know why? Because that dragon spit that venom inside of him. When the camera was turned off and back onto the stage, can you imagine what she said to him? Or can you imagine the look that she gave him? That you better go do something, look.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we all know that that woman controls him.
Right.
100%. Will is her servant, as the scripture, next scripture I'm gonna bring up. But let's get back to her head real quick. The root of the joke, no pun intended, is in this scripture. If you could, Baba Bashar.
Because the daughters of Zion are haughty
Mm-hmm.
and walk with stretched forth necks and wanting eyes, walking and menacing as they go.
Because they walk with stretched forth necks. Everybody has seen a black woman when she really get to going and neck get to moving. You know what I mean? And what is there about their eyes?
Wanting eyes.
Wanting eyes, wanting every goddamn thing. Every damn thing. Nothing is ever good enough. Jada Pinkett has wanting eyes. She wanted August Alsina.
Right.
Okay? And various other men over the past 20 years that she has slept with while she's been married, that have come forth to say that they had some type of physical relationship with her, some of them underage. Okay, her wanting eyes, they want every goddamn thing.
That's right.
They want the jewelry. They want what the oppressor woman has. They want what the East Indian woman has. They want what the African woman has. They want what the Asian woman has. They want what everybody has, but they don't want what they have, which is the black man.
Right.
They don't want their own goddamn men. They don't want the comfort that you can provide them as a black man, the protection that you can provide for them as a black man, until they want to run off and do something stupid and then say, oh, y'all don't protect us. But then you run around all goddamn day saying you don't need us. You can't have it both ways, sis.
Right.
Okay? You want every damn thing, but what you need to want to really do is bring your stinking behind into this class, sit down, get in all black, do your 6 months, get in these scriptures, learn how to follow the law, statutes, and commandment, and be a true woman of God. That's what you need to want. That's what you should be wanting to do.
Right.
What you should want to gain more than anything is a knowledge of these scriptures in favor with the Most High before World War III officially kicks off in a whirlwind and them bombs start dropping. And then you ain't got to worry about alopecia taking your hair off because nuclear fire is going to melt your whole entire damn head.
That's right.
Okay? Or if you survive the nuclear fire, the radiation and the fallout is going to make everything fall off of you. Okay? Stop wanting every damn thing. Want what your man can provide for you. Want what your man can give you. Just how about instead of wanting all this crap around you, want your man to love you.
Right.
That's what you should want. You should want your man to love you. You should want Christ to love you. You should want the Lord to love you. Well, let me put it in the proper order. You should want the Lord to love you because the Lord is the head of Christ. Then you should want Christ to love you because Christ is the head of man. Then you should want your man to love you because the man is your head.
Right.
Then you should want your children to love you because you're your children's head. Stop wanting every goddamn thing. You're not going to get it.
Right.
Period. With your wanting eyes. Keep your damn eyes focused on your man and on the truth. Focus on being a good woman. Focus on being a good wife. Focus on being a good sister. Stop backbiting each other. Stop doing these wicked things. Stop trying to control your man. You should want to be led by your man, not control your man. That's Jada Pinkett's problem.
Right.
She want to control that man. She want to control her household, and look how destroyed her damn kids are.
That's right.
You can't get no more destroyed than the Smith kids. The girl think it's a boy. The boy think it's a girl. Come on, man. How molested are those kids? Let's just be for real.
Right.
Them kids have, we know Willow was in a relationship with some old Edomite man, got pictures of her laying in the bed with this man in their underwear, and when she was 12 or 13 years old. And it's obvious at some point somebody did something to Jaden. That boy was not a homosexual, what, 5-6 years ago?
Right.
When he did the Karate Kid with Jackie Chan, he wasn't homosexual. He wasn't gay, whatever you want to call it. He was not that way. All of a sudden, when he was fighting Will off of him from kissing him on the camera on the couch, that little kid was fighting like, "Dad, don't kiss me. Get off me, nigga."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like any average little boy, like, "Hold up, Dad. Come on, man." Like, you know what I'm saying? We on camera, and that's I don't even like you kissing on me at home. Like,
Right.
I'm not a kid anymore. Cut it out. People gonna get the wrong idea. Now look at him. Now look at him. The boy's sweeter than sugar itself.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? So, hands down, the Smiths are horrible parents. They're horrible spouses. And now, obviously, they're horrible co-workers and friends.
Right. If I could.
You surely can. Go ahead.
What you're saying is so goddamn heavy, because these are people that our people look up to. This is we're not just talking about just regular people.
Right.
Like we like the average nigga in America is a regular civilian.
Right.
We talking about niggas that's up there in finances, up there in they're known worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
And they're acting a damn fool on national television. And one of the niggas that's acting a fool, his dragon has brought this nigga to tears. On national television.
Mm-hmm.
Over a relationship she had with an underage nigga.
Yep. Gone.
So now we talking about a pedophile too.
Yes, we are. And the world is defending a pedophile. Will Smith is defending a whore. A lot of people are not going to agree with me saying that. Any woman that cheats on her man is a whore.
That's right.
Period. Point blank.
That's right.
A wife that sleeps outside of her marriage is a whore.
That's right.
That's not me saying she's a whore. The scriptures say that she's a whore. And back in the days, that whore would have been put to death.
That's right.
Okay?
Okay.
The streets talking about cats. Commander General Hunter brought out such a good point. He said, "You brothers on the streets that talking about, well, he was just defending his wife. He was defending his woman." Come on, man. You know street etiquette. That ain't his girl. That ain't his woman. That's everybody's woman.
Right.
You don't fight for no hoes. You let them hoes go. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures say if she lay with another man while she with you, that's it. Divorce is over. Let her go. You free. She go on her way and receive her punishment.
Right.
Any man that she lay with is gonna be a whoremonger after that because he's laying with a whore.
Right.
You know what I mean? No, man. If you could about this out, we're gonna get to what Kazai was saying. What Salaki? Yeah, Salaki. See, I'm getting ahead. This subject is firing me up. Let's go ahead and finish the script. Let's get back to her chrome dome.
Kind of kind. Walking and menacing as they go.
Walking and menacing as they go. You saw the menace last night. Chris Rock made that joke, and you saw that menace in her face. That's the perfect word for that menace in her eyes. Guess who she menaced first? Her husband.
Right.
Will sat there and kind of like, oh boy. And I know when he looked over, he's like, oh, you know what I mean? She menaced that man. Menacing with her wanting eyes. Read.
Kind of kind.
Mm-hmm.
And making a tinkling with their feet.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 17. Therefore, the Lord will smite with a scab.
What?
The Lord will smite with a scab.
The Lord will smite with a scab. Now, you say, oh, it's just a scab. What's they got to do with her head?
Right.
You know what I mean? That can be she scrape her arm up and get scabs on the elbows. I got one from Hebrew Academy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But it's just a scab. What's they got to do with Jada's head? Right. Her alopecia. Read.
Mm-hmm. Will smite with a scab the head crown of Slakia. Scab the crown of the head.
Well, what?
Scab the crown of the head.
Scab over that dome.
Right.
All right. He's going to scab over the crown of the head. He's going to start all of that. If a scab is there, guess what can't be there? Hair.
Right.
Is going to fall out. Any more on that?
Of the daughters of Zion.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Go ahead.
Oh, and the Lord will discover their secret parts.
Mm-hmm.
That's it on that.
That's it on that.
So, like, if I could,
go ahead.
The crown of the head, as well as the surrounding. That's where a crown would sit. Correct.
Yep.
So, and that's what majority. That's where alopecia usually works at, is on the crowns of the head.
Right. The base crown of your head is up here. You know what I mean? But this is where, yeah, if you had a crown, that's where it would sit. That's why Jada is. That's why it's gone. The Lord did that because of her behavior, right? Because of her wickedness. Okay, and the only person that can be blamed is her. Shalakia, let me see something. And if you could, give me the book of Isaiah, chapter 3 and verse 24. Oh, no, you know what? You're still in Isaiah. That's where you are. Drop down to 24.
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 24. And it shall come to pass.
And now the Lord said, it shall come to pass. Now we all know when he say it shall come to pass, that means this is what's going to happen. Period, point blank. And there's no stopping it. Read.
That instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink.
Now, instead of the sweet smell that your woman's supposed to have in the box, it's going to stink.
Right.
It's going to be funky. It's a lot of sisters out here that no matter what they do, that thing just don't smell right. That's the Lord doing that to you. You sleep with all these men and then mess up your pH balance, that thing ain't never going to smell right again.
That's right.
You go out here being a whore. You go out here, you know what I mean, acting a fool. You go out here being wicked in your spirit. You go out here breaking the law and spiting the Lord and laying with every man because you think that's what society says you can do. It's gonna ruin that box. It's gonna smell. Read.
And instead of a girdle, a ring.
Instead of the girdle, that natural belly is why you see a lot of our sisters walking around. Hey, especially on the west side of Chicago, you can see sisters with the bottom of their belly hanging out of their shirt. That is a horrible look. You got all types of belly, and it's hanging out the bottom of your shirt. You know what I mean? Because the Lord to loosen up that natural girdle, He done took that, He done cut the strings to it. Now you can't help it. You look this way when you're young, but by the time you hit 20, 18, 19, 20 years old, you start getting a gut that you'll never get rid of. Right. There's plenty of sisters I've seen like that. I know like that. Went to high school, they were super fine. And by the time they got out of college, they were, oh boy. And especially now, when you see them started seeing them in their late 20s, their 30s, and their 40s, they don't look like the same person. You be like, damn, what happened to you? You was woo. Now you woo. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason for that, but keep going.
And instead of well-set hair, baldness.
What?
Baldness.
What?
Baldness.
Because of Jada's wicked spirit. Do you think it's a coincidence? Now let's think back a couple years ago, right? Jada Pinkett had hair. She had nothing wrong with her hair. Then all of a sudden, she started messing around with August Alsina. She started embarrassing her husband on national TV. She started acting a complete fool. And she started showing the world that she was a whore. All right? What happened? Then all of a sudden, that hair is gone. And now she's bald. I'm not saying that it all coincides together, but I'm just saying that it might.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a high probability. We don't know how long she's been having these affairs. We don't know how long she was sleeping with that young man. We don't know how long she's been a dragon inside of her own household. Because she admits that she was a horrible mother. Right. She said that she was not there for her kids emotionally. When they came to her crying about different things, she said she responded with anger and spite because she just couldn't understand what the hell was wrong with them. What could they possibly want? because they grew up rich. Because her and her husband gave them an environment where they could have anything that they wanted. So she couldn't understand why the hell they were crying. She was shut down on them emotionally. That means she was a horrible mother. She was a dragon to her children.
Right.
And she'll drag it to the children that came out of her womb. Imagine how she feels about that man in the house.
I'm right.
You know what I mean?
If I could.
Go ahead.
What you're saying is so heavy. For a long time, she's been such a dragon to Will that I remember a specific video that I saw. He had almost damn near in tears, saying how much there were times that he wished he was Tupac because of how much Jada actually was in love with him.
Exactly.
While they was together.
While they were together. So that lets you know Will Smith never had Jada's heart, and he knew it. They have an open marriage. Ain't no such thing as an open marriage.
Right.
A man can have multiple women. A woman cannot have multiple men.
That's right.
A woman has one man her whole life. That's it.
That's
Period.
right.
Point blank. Thus said the Lord. A man can have multiple wives, but he can't go and just take another man's wife.
That's right.
And as a black man, you can't sleep outside of your nation. You cannot marry a woman. So Will Smith, part of his punishment for messing with heathen women is he had to deal with a horrible dragon at home. It is what it is, brother. You have been made into a public spectacle. But that alopecia thing that they're talking about, all of this is just to let you all know the Lord did that to Jada.
Right.
It ain't no mystery disease that just can't be found. It's nothing that anyone should feel sorry for her about, because if she wasn't so damn wicked, she would have her hair.
Right.
Thus said the Lord. Because of her behavior, because of how wicked she is, the Lord took her hair from her. She said it was something she prided herself on. You know what I mean? It was that crown of glory, as you brought out in the previous scripture, and she wore it as a crown of glory. She loved her little cute little short hair. You know what I mean? She loved the little curly hair. She was proud of her hair. It was such an intricate part of her, as she said.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the Lord took it because she was such an evil, wicked dragon. Yeah. Now, if you could, Baba Gashar, give me First Ezra, chapter 4, and start at verse 25. So we have to understand what led Will Smith to do what he did. Will Smith is not acting on his own. You know what I mean? Will Smith was basically following orders from his master. Will Smith was doing what he was required to do by the person that rules over him. And if you could, Baba Gashar.
Khan will Khan. You see that 4, verse 25?
4 and yes, 25.
Second Ezra, chapter 4, verse 25. What will he then do unto his name?
Oh, no, First Ezra, Salaki. First Ezra 4:25. Salaki. Yeah, I do. We go into Second Ezra so much, you know what I mean? But if you ever we're reading out of the Apocrypha, it's a powerful book. Some non-Isupk Israelites claim ain't no power in this book, but let's think about what Will Smith did, and let's see the power of the Apocrypha and the scriptures and the prophecy of the Lord. Read.
Khan. First Ezra chapter 4, verse 25. Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father or mother.
A man loves his wife. The scriptures say when you get a wife, you leave your father, you leave your mother, because you're going to go start your own family.
That's right.
So a man loves his wife better than his father or his mother. You love that woman more than anything or anyone on this earth, because now she is your family. She's a part of you. You're supposed to love your wife above anything except Christ and the Lord. You're supposed to love your wife. You love your mother and your father. You honor your mother and your father, but there's certain things your wife can do for you that your mother and father definitely cannot.
That's right.
All right. That your wife does things for you that nobody else on the face of this planet can do for you.
That's right.
And it's supposed to be that way. That's why you're supposed to love your wife so much. And there's nothing wrong with loving your wife that much. Don't love her more than the truth or the work of the Lord. Don't love your wife more than you love the Lord. Don't love your wife more than you love Christ. That would just be foolish.
Right.
However, everything else on this earth, your wife should come before it. You should love your wife more than your slavery. You should love your wife more than you love your homies, not more than your brothers that you war with. You know what I mean? But there's certain things that come before your wife, and when those things are said and done, your wife comes before everything else. You're supposed to love your wife greatly. But read.
God on Khan, verse 26. Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women.
Read that again.
God on Khan. Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women.
There are many a men in this world that have lost their damn mind over a woman. If you look in the prison system, 50% of the brothers locked up in jail today will let you know they are locked up because of a woman. Right. They either beat that woman, they killed that woman, or they went out robbing, stealing, drug dealing to impress that woman. Go ahead.
So, like I said, it may very well be much higher than that if you go into the root cause of why what they committed the crime for. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, drugs. Because for their woman, they want to make their woman look like, think they flashy. You know what I'm saying? Or killed another brother over a woman. It's probably close to like 80%.
But yeah, I'll agree with you. Because, men go out and commit crimes to make themselves look good and dress fancy and have money, disposable income. For what? To impress women. We don't do it to impress each other. Right. You know what I mean? I ain't never dressed fly, so once my niggas see me in this. You know what I mean? Nah. I dress fly and be like, I look good. I'm going to get me a gang of shorties. Right. How many numbers can I get tonight? Right. You know what I mean? How many am I going to pull? I know I smell good, look good, got money to spare, man. I got a G in my pocket. Wait till I go out tonight. You know what I mean? All of that is to impress women. Go ahead.
If I could, I got a quick precept for you. I'm not sure if you're going there already.
Go ahead.
Proverbs 31:3.
Let me get there with you. Lock it. Said 31:3.
Come on.
Let me see where you at.
Oh yeah, it's my joint right here.
You said that's your joint? Uh-oh. You got Kazaa ones to prove. Let's see, 31. Woo! Go ahead.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 3.
Read.
Give not thy strength unto a woman.
Give what?
Give not thy strength unto a woman.
Look, yo. Stop giving your power in your relationship to that damn woman.
That's right.
She has no idea how to lead you.
That's right.
Why are you following a woman? Newsflash. If Captain Zaryak has not proven it, if Commander General Yohana hasn't proven it, if Captain Zaryak hasn't proven it time and time again by going to war with you, the Kemetic conscious community, the black woman is not God.
That's right.
She is not a god. She is not a goddess. She is not a queen. She is not a ruler.
That's right.
She is underneath you. She is your helpmeet. She's supposed to be there to provide comfort for you, to be led by you.
Right.
Not for you to be led by her. Right. What is wrong with you? What's wrong with Will Smith? He got into that last night because he's being led by that woman. Going and slapping his own, embarrassing his brother.
Right.
His brother. And not only just his brother, because that's a fellow Israelite. His brother as being one of the very few black entertainers in this world that has been highly successful. That it opened doors for others to come in to be successful in that entertainment industry, which is very racist. You think it's a coincidence that if you were paying attention at the beginning of the program, the hostesses were making reference to how at the Academy Awards, there were no black nominees. None. No black person got nominated for any awards at the Academy Awards. Was it the Academy? No, the Oscars was last night. Okay, the Academy Awards was the other. At the Academy Awards, there were no black nominees on the ticket. Even all these great black movies were out there, people were ranting and raving about, none of them got nominated. Was it even any black people in the audience? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. And then here go Will Smith, goes and attacks his brother on a lot of different levels on international TV.
That's right.
International. That means the entire world was watching Will Smith go and have a nigga moment over a hoe.
Right.
Go ahead.
Slock it, sir, if I could.
Mhm.
And I can almost say that even what happened with them two, I kind of appreciate that it took the spotlight off of them giving all those black actresses those awards last night, because in previous, Will Smith never got an Oscar before.
Nope.
Who was it? It was somebody else who never got a Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
I think who never got, and those are powerful actors.
Yep.
And even if that instance wouldn't have happened last night, then that would have put black people in the mindset of they accept us now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if
Right.
we could take anything out of what happened last night, it at least took our mind off thinking that the oppressor actually gives a damn about us.
About it, right.
Right.
That's an excellent point.
I was gonna say, if
Go
I
ahead.
could add on to that one, what the brother's bringing out is so goddamn heavy, of course. You know
Wow,
what I'm saying?
wow.
But I mean, it's what it also adds is now we have to be very wary of who we allow to lead us.
There you go.
Damn right.
We're
right.
looking at these people like I remember growing up waiting for the next Will Smith show to come on. I went to school with his nephews, so he talking to me like, oh, it's about to drop today. I'm going back home like, hey, Pop, we watching Will Smith.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so now seeing this, it's damn near like, all right, Chris, and the brother showed great restraint.
He did. Hey, Shalaki, not to cut you off.
Kind of
If I could, Bob beside you
Kind
for a
of
moment. Give it up for Chris Rock. So Chris Rock did something that none of these men, as disciplined as we are, and believe me, in the Isupk, we practice nothing but discipline. We practice brotherhood and discipline.
Right.
Shalaki, which is the two main things that our nation will be built off of. It is the foundation of a strong nation.
That's right.
However, I must say, despite all of my training, despite all the discipline instilled in me by mighty, mighty priests like Captain Marquardt and a excellent, perfect leader like Commander General Yohana.
That's right.
If I was up there at the Academy Awards and Will Smith walked up and slapped me, he might have got a throat strike. I'm telling you, first off, I would have blocked it. You know what I'm saying? That block would have came out, but I'd have tried to snatch his arm off with the block.
Right.
But if for some reason, because Chris Rock thought it was a joke, you know what I mean? He stood there, Chris Rock is standing there like, hey, Will. You know what I mean? He thought it was a joke. He did not know that Will was about to come and try to slap his chin off his face. You know what I'm saying? So he thought it was fun and games. He didn't know what was going on until he got hit. And I will give Chris Rock something. He showed incredible, as you said, he showed incredible restraint. Because majority of the cats I know, and with the exception of a very small few, who are not known to be confrontational ever, Will Smith would have been a fight. Will Smith would have quite possibly got the brakes beat off of him, or at least it would have been rumbling in some. I can't remember what comedian said. Some furniture would have been moving up in there. Okay, we'd have been moving some furniture. They'd have had to separate us on the Oscars. That nigga moment would have really turned into a nigga moment. They'd have had to separate me. It's a lot of. I think I was watching Shannon Sharp earlier said the same thing. He said no. He said he would have beat the hell out of Will Smith. But notice Will Smith didn't do that. He chose Chris Rock to do that to.
That's right.
He chose a brother that's half his size. You know what I mean? Chris Rock is not an action hero. Chris Rock, you haven't really seen Chris Rock in too many roles where he didn't have to lift weights and get all buffed up and learn how to box and learn how to do martial arts and all that stuff like a Will Smith.
Right.
All right. Will Smith, well, say what you want about the cat. Will Smith wouldn't have done that to Tyler Perry.
Right.
Tyler Perry may be, you know, he may be a homosexual. And I had to get my words right. You know, I mean, I don't want to get up the page ban. That's cap shop. But Tyler Perry, say what you want about him. He's a tranny. He's a homosexual. Whatever. Tyler Perry is about 6'4", 6'5", 260, 270 pounds. You know what I'm saying? That's as sweet as he is. He's quite an imposing figure. That's a big dude, and he lift weights. I saw that with that movie Alex Cross. The first hard role that Tyler Perry played was that movie Alex Cross, and if you see him when he gets mad and goes after the serial killer that killed his wife, you kind of I was watching the movie like, yeah, I was like, man, you know what? That's not a brother I won't come at me full force, full of anger, trying to kill me. You know what I mean? Because that is a big brother.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Will Smith wouldn't have done that with Tyler Perry. You know what I mean? He wouldn't have done that with Denzel. He wouldn't have done that with a bunch of brothers that was there last night.
Right.
But Chris Rock, Pookie, New Jack City, comedian, the funny guy, the little guy, he chose to do that too because he knew he could get away with it. He knew that there was a 80 to 90% chance that Chris Rock wasn't going to try to fight him.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Go ahead.
It's a lot, sir. Not to cut you off, but you know it's heavy what you bringing out. And I heard somebody say early on the radio, like this has been building up in this brother ever since what happened with August Alsina.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw all those shows where he was on there with Jada, that he was smiling through the pain, smiling through all this pain and torture.
Mm-hmm.
And then it finally came a point, and probably at the worst time for this to ever happen, when that demon got into him enough to where he went and acted on it. And it's going to be something that's going to really stain and hurt his career. That career that he had is going to no longer be the same one. So, yeah, he definitely messed his whole career up with this whole move.
He definitely did. And let's you know what? Let the rest of the scripture speak out about it. If you could continue.
Did you want to stay on the Proverbs? Because I think
a
little bit on Proverbs.
Still got a little bit more in Proverbs. That's right. So
Give not thy strength unto a woman, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings.
What? Whoa. Now, see, a lot of people might not understand that. Think of, let's go into a little Edomite history. Think about Helen of Troy. One little ugly Edomite woman had a whole kingdom, an empire, completely wiped off the face of the earth, to the point where history records it, but it was so wiped out that people think it may be a myth. You know what I mean? Troy, Helen of Troy, the whole Trojan horse thing, that's actual history. That's physical history. That did happen. But they wiped the people of Troy out so efficiently that they say it might have been a myth. We know it happened, but we don't know it happened because we can't find no evidence of these people. All of them were killed over some ugly woman, over some man's wife or fiance, whatever she was. They called her the face that sailed 1,000 ships. That was the biggest army ever amassed at the time. That was the greatest naval assault the world had ever seen. All over a woman. Women have destroyed kings, empires. Hell, read the scriptures. Read the story of Samson. Look what a heathen woman at that. Look what a woman did to Samson. Samson slew Philistines with the jaw of an ass. They had swords. He had a jawbone and wrecked shop. Hundreds of them. You know what I mean? He defeated an army regiment by himself, holding it down. He defeated the great martial arts men of Asia who were so deadly and feared in the world. Samson beat the brakes off of them. You know what defeated one of the strongest men this planet had ever seen? One of the mightiest warriors this planet had ever seen? A woman. Right. That's what that scripture is referring to. You know what I mean? Women have destroyed kings. Got something? Go ahead.
Salaki, and just to go with what you were saying, this king, when it's talking about this destroyed kings, is a king was known as a man of renown, a man of high stature in a civilization, and you see that within Judah, with Isupk, within all of the tribes, the man that has renown, they get destroyed by either their own women, sisters in the world, or they go over to a heathen nation and they give their strength to a heathen woman, and those heathen women destroyed. Bill Cosby got destroyed because he wanted to give his strength to a woman, to a heathen woman,
heathen women.
You know what I'm saying? R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? These brothers of renown that in our society, they giving their strength to women when they should have. What they really should have did, should have got them a sister. You know what I'm saying? They should have been in the truth first and foremost, so they can know how to treat a sister.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Will not knowing how to treat his wife is the reason she's a dragon.
That's right.
You understand? So
that's right. Because drop that and just continue with that scripture. That goes right into the scripture. Let's continue on.
Khan, you want me to start at the beginning or
start at the beginning of 4. Yeah, start at the beginning 25.
First Ezra chapter 4, verse 25. Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father or mother.
Read.
Verse 26. Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women.
Many of men have lost their mind because of women. Will Smith is one of those men.
Right.
Read.
Khan. And become servants.
And become what?
And become servants.
What?
Servants.
Last night, what we saw, the great Will Smith, beloved multi-millionaire, the $25 million man, they used to call him. Because at one point in his career, Will Smith got paid $25 million per movie. The minimum that you could pay Will Smith after Independence Day. That's the first movie I think that was the first movie he got paid $25 million for. Every movie after that was $25 million. So when you see him do Our Robot, when you seen him do I Am Legend, the lowest they could pay that man was $25 million. Go ahead.
Now what you saying is so heavy, because I'm sitting here thinking about what you're saying, and I'm thinking about how prominent Chris Tucker is, and the most that it's like Chris Tucker. The most he got paid for one of the most well-known movies around the world, Friday, was $5,000.
Right.
Yeah, Will Smith is 20. That's good.
Yeah, Will Smith is $25 million. Chris Tucker got paid $5,000 to be Smokey and Friday, and Will Smith gets $25 million to be iRobot. Come on, man. And guess what? Now he is a servant to his woman.
That's right.
What we saw that rich, powerful, could be powerful black man become last night was an attack dog for his dragon. When the camera went off of Will, Jada had that evil, that menace in her eyes that the scripture spoke of, and she told Will to go get him. And Will jumped up and said, "Yes, master," and jumped up and went and attacked his brother. You had to laugh at that one. You know what I mean? He went and attacked his brother. The sad part about that is Will Smith is not one time in his life that I've ever heard of or seen, or in his career stood up to our oppressors. Will Smith hasn't even done what they call a conscious movie. The most conscious movie he did was him playing a homosexual.
So he did Ali. So I guess you can kind of somewhat.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He did Ali, and he did a good Ali, but he stopped short in Ali. You get what I'm saying? He fell short in Ali. It was a great movie. I liked Ali. He did very good. He acted, the acting on par. You know what I mean? But man, Ali has been done so many times by so many different brothers. You know what I'm saying? Just because he made the best motion picture out of it don't mean a damn thing. So he did Ali. So what? You know what I mean? Some people say, what was that? The one with him and his son, Pursuit of Happiness. That's about maybe the deepest that he's gone. You know what I'm saying? So what? You know what I mean? Will Smith has never once in his career put his neck on his line for our people.
Right.
Will Smith has never once in his career gone up and fought for our people. The only other person I ever seen Will Smith slap is a video going around where some sodomite was tried to interview Will. He interviewed Will and went to hug him, and Will let him hug him, and the dude tried to kiss Will on the cheek. Dude tried to kiss him. And here's the most disgusting thing about Will Smith and him slapping Chris Rock the way he slapped Chris Rock so hard you heard the thud.
Right.
It wasn't a slap, it was a thud. He said, you know what I mean? Boom. You heard that. That means he got full extension, palm in it. He put some strength into that. That sodomite, that's like that homosexual that tried to kiss him. Go ahead.
If I could, it was just for a female.
And it was, say that again. So, yo, Shalaka, if I may. How old are you? 12 years old. This brother right here is 12 years old, and he is a mightier man than Will Smith. Repeat what you said loud enough so everybody can hear you.
It was just for a female.
It was what?
It was just for a female.
It was just for a female. 12 years old, and he has more courage, he has more knowledge, and he has more strength than Will Smith.
Damn right.
At 12 years old, learning under a mighty man, and his father is a mighty man in this ISUPK. Right. And he comes to class and he learns under the men of the UPK. Right. And he himself is going to be a mighty man in this truth. Right. Right. At 12 years old, you can see the difference between a young man in the truth that's learning this truth and a grown-ass man who has made millions of dollars and has all types of power in this world. That brother said it's just over a female. You know what I mean? Just over a female. Will Smith tried to slap his brother's face off. But when that sodomite kissed him, tried to kiss on him. I mean, he hugged him, and I think he kissed him on the cheek, and she tried to kiss him in the mouth on camera. Will said, "Oh man, oh, whoa," and he gave him a little slap. He didn't even slap him that hard. He slapped him, but he didn't even slap him that hard. The other way, he said, "He tried to kiss me, man. What's wrong with him?" And walked off. So Will Smith doesn't have a problem with people trying to take his manhood. That's what it seems like to me.
Right.
You got your wife who completely emasculated him on TV, in front of the world. You forgave her for her entanglement. Yeah, you done entangled your butt out of my crib and out of my life, and been lucky that I ain't entangled my hands around your neck. Now, so like it, ISUPK does not condone domestic violence in any way, shape, or form. Right. I'm saying that as an example. All right, we don't condone brothers hitting their women or any of that stuff. I'm using that as an example. Go ahead.
If I could, what you're saying is so heavy. Because maybe this is a way for Will to try to win her back. Because whenever she had that entanglement, whenever that filthy whore slept with the other brother, he looked at her at that table and he said, "I'm going to win you back." So well, maybe this was it.
And that's why he became, as the scriptures say, he became what?
As he became and becomes servants for their sake.
He became a servant for his woman's sake. Listen, yo, the Lord tells you when that woman whores on you to leave her alone.
Right.
You're not supposed to win her back. You can never win back the heart of a whore.
Right.
Her heart belongs to everybody else.
Right.
Her heart belongs to August Alsina. Her heart belongs to Tupac. Right. Her heart belongs to whoever else she slept with during their marriage. It does not belong to Will Smith.
That's right.
All right? There's nothing to win back. It's done. You know what I'm saying? That's not his woman anymore.
Right.
He needs to let that go, and it'll be counted as honor to him. Go ahead.
So, like you, sir, the bride may not know what love is, to be honest. She didn't know how to love her kids. She didn't know how to love her husband. Like, he's invested his love into someone who would never return the amount of love back to him.
And what you're bringing out is so heavy and so true. And so true. Thus is the spirit of a whore. She doesn't love herself, so she can't love others.
Right.
She has a man who is given, and what's so wicked about her is she has a man who is giving her the most lavish lifestyle on the planet. Jada does not remember Jada does not remember she remembers what it was like to be broke, but she doesn't remember what it was like to be broke. She's been living in luxury so long. When she did that, the Tiffany Haddish told that joke about her and Jada and Will going out on a boat tour. You know, she told Jada, yeah, we're gonna go on a boat. And you know, I got a Groupon. So we can go on a boat. You know, let's go on this boat tour. You know, this swamp tour in New Orleans or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I got a Groupon, so you know, me, you, and Will can go together. And she said when they got there and they realized that it was other people getting on the boat, Jada said, oh, when you said you had a Groupon, I thought you meant a boat that you could bring your group on. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's how she's like, the sister's a little, she's out of touch. Because she's been living so lavish and so rich for so long. She got a man that made her forget her poverty. But she still cheated on him. She still emasculated him in front of the world. She still treated him like dung under the bottom of her shoe. Because he now is her servant for her sake. Continue on.
Khan, verse 27. Many also have perished.
Many what?
Many also have perished.
Go ahead.
Have erred and sinned for women.
Many have perished and erred and sinned for women. Will Smith last night erred for his woman, for a woman. I'm not even going to say that's his woman, for a woman, because she's not his woman. He went up there, and there's going to be repercussions because they're already talking about, now this is his first Oscar that he's ever won for Best Actor. You know what I mean? The night that he gets his greatest accolade as an actor, he won an Oscar for Best Actor in a film. And he goes up and has a nigga moment in front of the world. And now they're talking about, will they take his Oscar from him? The Academy wanted the director of what movie was it? It'll come to me. The director, it's some movie we've all seen. He directed this movie. He's also a member of the Oscar, the board, you know what I mean? The Oscars, the Academy board or whatever.
You didn't talk about Quentin Tarantino.
Not Quentin.
Okay.
No, it's another cat. But they're talking, but he was saying that there should be some disciplinary action against Will Smith for that behavior. The Oscar already said they don't condone violence, and they're supporting all the actors who deserved to be there. Pay attention to their words. Okay? Their Will is going to see some repercussions from this. Go ahead.
So like, sir, if I could, I don't know if the whole world understands, but that was battery on videotape.
It's
like
right.
That is a crime
Yeah,
that he can go to jail for, and I'm pretty sure, and that's why I said that his punishment is gonna come. They're gonna find a way to put that brother in jail.
Now, Chris Rock already did refuse to press charges on him.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he did not want to. He did not report it. He refused to press charge. He refused to report it to the police.
That was brotherly man.
Chris Rock is more of a brother than Will Smith is.
I would have never thought that.
Once again, give it up for Chris Rock, because Chris Rock, who knows what that's going to cost him? As Commander General Yohana said earlier, you know what I mean? That could cost Chris Rock his career.
Right.
You know what I mean? Chris Rock should have filed a police report and sued Will Smith for $100 million. Because what roles is that going to cost him? Just having that nigga, just being in that moment with Will Smith, just being slapped like that. What is that going to cost him in the future? What is that doing to his image, his reputation? Go ahead.
And if I could, it's not like Jada's going to stay with him if he gets locked up. She's proven that while he's living with her.
Right.
God damn.
Right. If the woman can keep her damn legs closed while y'all in the same household together, You know what I mean? The Jaden having sleepovers, and while everybody sleeps, she in there screwing his little homie.
Good night.
Yeah, August lived with them. He lived in the house with them. You get what I'm saying? That's how wicked this woman is. And Will Smith is just as wicked because he would rather go up there and hit his brother and slap his brother for a stupid joke. A stupid joke that Chris Rock, there's a 80% chance that Chris Rock didn't even write the damn joke.
Right.
They have writers for the Oscars. They have people that sit back and script out the whole night. Everything the host says, all those jokes, the presenters when they come up, all those lame, corny jokes that they tell, all them lines that they fumble over, they're reading up a damn teleprompter.
Right.
So he went and slapped Chris Rock with something that he said off a teleprompter. Go ahead.
If I could, it's a lot. But I mean, if you imagine a G.I. Jane suit on her, she do look
Oh,
like
see G.I. Jane all day long. They ain't even got to give her a haircut. The Lord took care of that. The Lord already cut her hair. Go ahead.
It's a lot, yes, sir. Now, I think the part that gets to me more than anything is that brother Chris Rock, man. He decided to forgive that brother for slapping the hell out of him. You defending a brother who has a better heart
That's right.
Than you do over this wicked bride who don't give a fuck about you. Slocky, give a damn about you, your love for her, none of that.
None of that.
You went to go fight for her love, and this in the love that brother had for him, he decided to forgive him for what he did on that stage.
Yes, he did. You know yes, he did. That's why I said. That's why I have to applaud Chris Rock not only for his restraint but for his level of. Now that is brotherhood. He sees that his brother is destroyed.
Right.
Destroyed. Will Smith is destroyed. Give me treat thy brother as thyself.
One comes.
Slocky, so just on that note, because we just had this class last week. Now this is the total opposite of what you saw with the DL Hughley with the Kanye West thing. You know what I'm saying? This is what we was talking about last week.
Damn right. Now look, last week, right, we got another comedian, DL Hughley, defending the devil. DL, oh my, okay, but it's the same thing.
Got no card, sir.
So this week we saw Will Smith defend the whore. Last week we saw DL Hughley defending the whore. And both of these men who are rich, very wealthy, are attacking their brothers. Attacking their brothers over whores. One is a heathen whore, the other one is a daughter of Zion. That the heathen whore, the Lord didn't take her hair. The Lord didn't loosen her girdle. The Lord didn't cause stank between her legs. Okay? But the daughter of Zion, oh, the Lord gave her alopecia. The Lord snatched that hair off her head. Now she all sensitive about it and got Will stupid behind going up slapping his brother. What Will should have done, if you really want to make an impression, why don't you slap the Edomite who scripted that joke for Chris Rock to tell? But you're not going to do that. You're not going to go against your oppressor, but you will slap your brother. You will go up against your brother who has never shown any aggression in his whole career. Hell, even the roles where Chris Rock tried to play serious roles, it's still kind of Chris Rock.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He done played roles where he done been serious. You know what I mean? He done played police and stuff like that. And the brother did an excellent job. But at the end of the day, it's still Chris Rock. Right. Okay? Let's be for real. Will Smith tried to redeem his masculinity at the expense of his brother. But it's nothing masculine about you slapping a man that is way smaller than you, that weighs half your weight. And he's a comedian. He's the funny guy. You went and slapped the funny guy? The kid in school telling jokes all the time usually is not the best fighter in the world. He tells jokes for a reason.
Right.
Because he don't want nobody messing with him. Because he wants to get along with people. Because he's not an aggressive individual.
Right.
Everybody's not a warrior. Everybody's not a fighter. That's not everybody's crown or suit in life. You know what I mean? The UPK, however, happens to be full of warriors.
Right.
Full of fighters. The Lord is gathering an army together. of men who from various walks of life and various income and various classes and brackets and communities across this world have come together in one spirit under one body because we all have something in common. We are all warriors for the Lord, and we are all tired and sick of this crap.
That's right.
We are done sitting down. We are done taking a knee. We're done kneeling. We're done bowing and scraping. We are done trying to impress all of you. Do you understand? The Lord has called us to rule over you. There's no more impressing you. There's no more holding back. There's no more of any of those things. It's our time to rise up in this earth. It's our time to pull brothers like Will Smith and brothers like D.L. Hughley and Kanye West and all of these other brothers and pull them out of this world and set them straight, to judge their actions, to put their actions into the forefront of the world so that they understand and the world understands that what they are doing is not right. That is not the way to live. That is not how you should act one black man to another.
That's right.
This is not the time for that. The time for that has passed. The time for what Will Smith did has passed. Go ahead.
And if I could, what you're saying is so heavy. And Christ said out of his mouth, like everybody professed to love God.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody professed to follow Christ. Christ said that they will know you. This is how they will know you are my disciples. If you have love one to another.
Yeah, I'm right.
Love is not going to cause you to slap the shit, Salakia, out of your brother.
Right.
It's not, and Chris Rock said it. He's the Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me.
Yes, he did.
Love is not going to tell you to slap the fire, the piss out of your brother.
Out of your brother.
But love will forgive your brother for doing it.
Now, you know who I Salakia, if I could, Bob, you know who I do want to give a hand to? Denzel Washington.
That's right.
Because because Denzel and Tyler Perry pulled Will to the side, pulled him to the back and talked to him after he did that. And what Denzel Washington told him was damn. I don't know what Denzel believe in, but you know, I've always said that how it's amazing to me how these brothers play these deep roles and these conscious roles and don't nothing seem to rub off on some of them. Denzel seems like it rubbed off on him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's that he told Will, he said, listen, when you're at the height of your popularity, when you're at the top, be careful. That's when the devil comes for you. You know what I mean? He said, when you're at the top, when you're on top of the world, when you're at the height of your popularity with everything, when you're up here, be careful because that's when the devil comes for you. Now, obviously, Denzel don't know who the devil is. You know, or maybe he do because he's trying to warn Will, like, hey, bro, listen. Tonight, you're going to be at the top of your game. You're going to be at the top tier. You know what I mean? Even though Will might not have known he won the award yet, but he did win that award. You get what I'm saying? And he's at the top. Now, guess what he did? The devil finna come at him. The devil, that devil, and if any of you are confused, I'm not talking about some little red man under the earth with horns and a pitchfork and a long tail.
Right.
I'm talking about the white man who is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
Plain and simple. He is the deceiver on this earth, and he is going to make Will Smith pay for ruining his Oscar.
Right.
And if I could,
Go ahead.
they don't give a damn about Chris
Rock at all.
They don't care about how much his face was hurting.
Mm-hmm.
All they care about is the spectacle that was made at their on their stage.
On their stage at their expense.
So like,
if you could, Bobby Bashad, anybody holding anything? What you holding?
The book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 39.
Read.
And the second is like unto it.
What?
The second is like unto it.
Start at the top and get the context for it.
Verse 37.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahushua said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart.
Now see, in this story right here, what you're witnessing is that it was the disciples, right? They came to Christ and asked him, what's the greatest commandment of all? What's the greatest? And Christ answered them this way.
And Yahweh said unto him, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all of thy heart.
So the greatest commandment there ever is to love the Lord your God, thy God, our God, with all of your heart. Cell phone's away. Read.
And with all thy soul.
And with all thy soul. So the greatest commandment of all is to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy soul. That's what you're supposed to do. That is the best thing and the greatest thing you can do in this entire existence of ours.
Right.
Okay? Read.
And with all thy mind.
And with all of your mind. So with all your soul, with all your heart, with all your mind, with everything, with all every ounce of your being, love your Creator. Read.
This is the first and great commandment.
That is the first and the great commandment. Period. Read.
The second is like unto it.
So the second is just like the first. What's the greatest? To love God more than anything with every ounce of your being. But the second is not saying it is as great, but it's like the first. It's almost as great or just as great as the first. Read.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor.
Thou shalt what?
Thou shalt love thy neighbor.
In this context, neighbor, in every context, neighbor means brother.
Right.
Neighbor means that person that lives, that's a part of your community, a part of your neighbor. Back then, if you were an Israelite, you lived amongst Israelites.
Right.
Salakia, our neighbors were not East Indians. Our neighbors were not Asian. Our neighbors were not Edomites. We just today, our people have gotten so simple with this love thy neighbor Christian view of it. Your neighbor is not because Bob's hardware store closed down up in Oak Park and now he's in Inglewood for some reason,
right?
Because the property value is pretty low, and he heard that it's going to come up because gentrification is moving through it. Now he's your neighbor, and you have to love him. He don't give a damn about you. You shouldn't give a damn about him.
That's right.
Okay. Right. Your neighbor, your real neighbor, is that one that has been next to you your whole entire life. You going to Inglewood? I'm talking about you going to Inglewood in Chicago, or you go to Inglewood in LA. You know what I'm saying? You go to any Inglewood, and guess who lives next to who?
Right.
Negroes live next to Negroes. That's your neighbor.
Damn right.
You go into the barrio, you have Hispanics living next to Hispanics. You go into the reservation, you got natives next to natives, and it's been that way.
Right.
I don't care what integrated communities they come up with. You are supposed to love your neighbor, your brother.
Right.
That one that looks like you, that bleeds the same blood as you, that's in the same poverty and circumstances as you. Love thy neighbor, read.
As thyself.
As you love yourself. Period. If you don't want to see yourself come to harm, you don't want to see your brother come to harm.
Right.
If you don't want yourself to get slapped, you don't go and slap your brother. Or with some woman that cheated on you and embarrassed you and drug your name through the mud on the world, through the world,
right? On a
worldwide scale. Will Smith will prove to how much of a coward he really is. He was trying to redeem himself. He thought the masculine thing to do, and I'm sure that wicked dragon that he sleeps with, or sleeps next to, sleeps in the same house in. Because the dynamic of their relationship, I don't even think they sleep in the same bed together.
Right.
They probably don't. They got a big giant mansion. They probably sleep like 40 rooms away from each other. Okay? Let's be for real. Let's stop falling for the imagery and start thinking about the reality. Those two do not love each other.
Right.
Go ahead.
If I could, I got another precept for you, sir.
Go ahead, Bobby Shot.
It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25, verse 16. I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon.
Say that again.
Salakia. I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon.
I would rather live with a lion and a dragon, two creatures that will eat me without a hesitation and end my life without a blink or batting of an eye.
Right.
That care nothing about my existence. Read.
Than to keep house with a wicked woman.
Than to what?
Keep house with a wicked woman.
Than to keep house with a Jada Pinkett.
That's right.
Than to keep house with a woman that will embarrass you in front of the entire world. That will sleep with her son's best friend who is strung out on drugs, have all type of family problems at home, to the point where the boy don't even stay home. He's staying in the house with you, and you gonna go and sleep with the boy.
Right.
I would rather dwell and live with a lion and a dragon than to stay with a wicked, evil bitch like that.
That's right.
You got something? I saw you moving. I know the mind. If you could pull me Jeremiah 2 and 33. You know what I mean? Yeah, I would rather live with two of the most vicious beasts that the Lord ever put on this earth than to stay with a horrible woman like that. You know what I mean? So
and if I could
go ahead.
What people don't understand is that it's better to dwell with your brothers. That's why brotherhood is so important.
Damn right.
Because there may be a time when you need your brother to get away from that woman of a dragon.
Oh, and God, time will come. There will be a time when you need your brother to get away from that dragon.
That's right.
All right, just look. I ain't even gonna get into that. All right, just know that is actual events, and that's prophecy for you out there, and that's actual events for men that are in this truth.
Right.
There's a time, brothers, listen. If you marry a dragon, don't think you're the only one.
Right.
Christ said, don't think it strange that these things happen to you. You know what I'm saying? Because they've happened to greater and mightier men than you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These things happen. People make bad choices. We're men.
Right.
We see a beautiful woman. We see a woman we're attracted to. It happens. But learn from that mistake.
That's right.
And know that you're not stuck with that dragon. You can leave that dragon when she gets to it, because that dragon is going to sleep around on the other man, with the other man.
That's right.
That dragon is going to do something horrible to try to emasculate you. You don't have to live in the same house as that dragon. Now, if she doesn't sleep with another man, that you can't divorce her. You're stuck with the dragon.
That's right.
Okay? I hope you like watching Game of Thrones, because you stuck with that dragon. All right? But you don't have to live in the same house.
That's right.
You never have to let a woman oppress you. Go ahead.
Salaki is heavy what you bringing out as well. If some of these men understood that they being emasculated because they don't punish their women for not being, and when I say punish, of course, in Isupk, we don't physically assault our women or anything.
Right.
But take away some of those things, those benefits that they got, like the Lord does us, to try to get us to shape up. And then after a while, you either gonna leave because you're so hurt, or you're gonna fix yourself. You know what I'm saying? And men, if they realize that sometimes you have to punish the woman for not being in the realm that she's supposed to be in under you.
In the right
she'll either leave,
right,
that's right,
as a dragon and go and be somebody else's dragon, or she's gonna stay and she's gonna be like fine gold or fine, you know what I'm saying, jewels to that man. So,
and what you're bringing out is so heavy. So let me. Dragons breathe fire. Okay. Dragons breathe fire. Okay. But how about this? Why don't you put your dragon through the fire?
Right.
And see what comes out on the other end.
Right.
You know what I mean? The scriptures say you're about putting through the fire and refine and come out fine gold. See if your dragon can turn into a princess once you put it through the fire. like you said, punish that dragon.
Right.
Now, punish that dragon don't mean go and beat on it. Don't mean go and do something cruel and unusual and stupid that's going to land your simple behind in jail,
Right.
or get you kicked out of the truth,
Right.
or shame you in front of the world. No, what you do is you give that dragon what it puts into your relationship.
That's right.
If your dragon is putting the bare minimum into your relationship, then you give it the bare minimum.
Right.
You don't feed it steak when it's giving you hamburger helper.
That's right.
You feed it hamburger helper.
Mhm.
You gave me hamburger helper, bitch, eat hamburger helper. It's a lock.
It's a lock. They give you the other rib steak.
And get your other rib steak. Now, get you another rib and feed the other rib steak. Your other rib is a princess, you give it princess meals. You give a dragon meals, and you give a princess meals.
Mhm.
You got to give that woman what she gives you. Give her back what she gives you. Now, if she gives you her all, you give her all.
Damn right.
You know what I mean? If she gives you the bare minimum, you give her. If she puts nothing in your relationship, you give her nothing in return.
Damn right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Because what is she giving you? A woman is supposed to be a pillar of rest for a man. A woman is supposed to be. You think Will Smith has peace? La-ah. Because Will Smith just went and slapped the tar off his brother, who turned around and is brotherly to him. And then okay. The media is, I don't know if he's saying this after the Oscars, but then supposedly he turned around and say, you know, you can't, on Twitter, you can't invite people from Philly and Baltimore nowhere.
Mm.
So that's what it's supposed to be, because you from Philly and she from Baltimore, y'all supposed to still be so hood. You can't invite Philly and Baltimore Negroes nowhere because they're going to cause a problem. But before the awards, he said, me and my wife are dressed up tonight to choose chaos. I'll send you the article. He said to choose chaos before he went there. All right? That shows you how destroyed that woman has that man. Don't be Will Smith. If you're going to be if you want to be a part of be a part of the successful part. Go out and earn as much money as you can and support and take that money and do what Will Smith has not done. Support your nation.
Damn right.
Support. Will Smith has enough money, has earned enough money in his lifetime to go to every impoverished community, Black community in America, and make it thrive.
That's right.
Period. 25 million a movie. I'm gonna do this movie right here. And I got 25 million. I could take 10 and put it to the side and take $15 million and go and improve the Black community.
Right.
Neighborhood by neighborhood, section by section, family by freaking family. And in 15 years, I can have the Black community being one of the best community, what it used to be, the most thriving community in the world. I can have it be the best community in this country, the most successful community in this country, with the highest rates of marriage and high school and college graduation, and doctors and lawyers and physicians coming up out of our community. Instead of me hoarding that money together to feed a whore and raise gay children, homosexual children, who are going to go on to destroy future generations of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and be a greedy, selfish bastard instead of raising up my people. Will Smith chose the low route. He chose the coward's way out.
Right.
He chose to do what a lot of your 99.8% of your entertainers do.
Right.
They shut their mouth, they kiss master's butt, and they keep their head tucked down in between their legs and fly under the damn radar. All right? They don't support their community. They don't truly support their community, even when they appear that they do. Okay, they hop on popular causes and for the moment causes, but they're not boots to the ground, nose to the grindstone like the ISUPK is. We don't give a damn about what our oppressors think about us. We don't give a damn about what anybody thinks about us. We are going to raise our nation even if it costs us our lives. It's cost a lot of us our names. It costs all of us our names. Because I don't have the same name that I had in the world. You know me as precinct officer 500 my yard. The people that knew me in the world knew me by another name. So it's cost me my name. It's cost Lakumya Allah his name. It's cost Kaziawan his name. It's cost Captain Marquardt his name. It's cost Commander General Yohana his name. It's cost General Mahaiman his name. So the name is done. Then it's your reputation that you worked for all your life. From the time that you was a child until the time that we came into the truth, we had a reputation was built. It cost that reputation's gone. So what? Who cares? All right? You're not willing to sacrifice everything for this truth and for your nation. You're not willing to sacrifice anything. You're not worthy. I'm sorry. If you're not willing to sacrifice any and everything of this nation, you are not worthy to be called a man. Go ahead.
What you're saying is so heavy, and if I could, what that brings to mind is when General Mahaiman broke down John 3:16, and he was talking to the brother. I forgot the brother's name. I think it was Thomas or something like that. And he told him, he was like, listen, he said, what the Most High did to Christ was take his most beloved son and put him on his lap and set the rest of his kids in front of him and say, listen, this is my most beloved son. And then he take a knife and slice his throat. And then he said, I killed him so I don't have to kill you. And then he said, your job is to honor him.
Damn right.
Be worthy of him. We're not worthy, but we have to get worthy.
Damn right. You could give me that Jeremiah 2:33.
Oh God, it's lucky, sir. If I could just if I could bring out Genesis 3:16, just for brothers, because we are talking about brothers being the head of their household, and how Will is not being the head of his household. He is being emasculated by his woman. And just before we leave out, for any sisters that's watching, any brothers that's watching that don't understand that the Most High did this on purpose, because he understood that a man needed to make decisions in that relationship. I just wanted to just go do Genesis 3:16.
Please do.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 16.
Read.
Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow.
He said, what?
I will greatly multiply thy sorrow.
To the woman, he said, I'm going to greatly multiply your sorrow. Want to know why? Because the Lord realized, and Salakia for saying this, the wickedness of a woman.
That's right.
From the beginning. From the very beginning, a woman caused Adam to sin.
That's right.
The first man that the Lord lifted out of the dust, the first man that the Lord gave the law, statutes, and commandments to, he chose Adam out of everybody. He chose Adam to be the one to carry on the proper and righteous knowledge of the Most High. And then he gave Adam a woman, a helpmeet, to help him grow and nourish, so he wouldn't be alone. So he'll have a pillow of rest and some peace. And what did that woman do? She listened to some she listened to some other nigga.
Right.
And she ran to another man. Another man seduced her into falling out of the grace of the Most High.
Right.
And tricking her husband into falling. Go ahead.
Salakia, sir, it's heavy what you're bringing out, because the punishment that the Most High gives a woman now is probably the thing that carried them more than anything is her selfishness.
Exactly.
And the Most High punished her by telling her, you have to give everything that you have to your husband now. You can't be selfish. Now you don't even get a choice to make a choice for yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now everything is to your husband. Go ahead.
If I could just to piggyback off what you were saying, because one thing I was in Milwaukee class today, and we went over the seven sons and the mother, and that mother is going to put a lot of women to shame,
Right?
Because what she loved the most, she gave away for the Lord.
Right.
She wasn't selfish with what she loved. She told her kids to die. What women in their right mind is going to look at their kids and die manfully, die.
Yeah.
Don't do this, die.
Right.
I would rather you die so I can have you again than for you to disobey the laws of your forefathers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. And that woman is a mighty woman. That woman is honored. She sat there and watched her 7 sons be ripped apart and tortured in some of the most horrendous manners possible. But she loved her nation.
Right.
She loved the Most High. She loved her God. She loved her nation. She loved her brothers and her sisters so much. And she instilled that in her children so much that they willingly went and took their deaths with honor.
Right.
And in the end of that story, they killed her too.
That's right.
All right. That sister sacrificed her sons and her life for the glory of Israel, for the glory of her nation, so her people can rise, so her people would not sell themselves out or be subjugated to an oppressive master.
Right.
That is a sister.
That's right.
That is a princess of the power. Will Smith is a coward.
That's right.
He did not reestablish his masculinity. He did not reestablish himself as some type of male figure. All he did was make it worse for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Because at the end of the day, what do you think white supremacists are saying when they see Will Smith go and slap Chris Rock? Look at those niggas.
Right.
It don't matter how much money you give them. It don't matter how much fame you give them. It don't matter what you do for them. They are still going to be niggas.
Right.
They are still going to attack each other. They are still going to hurt each other. They are still going to bring each other down. Right. Period.
Right.
Okay? Do you think Tom Cruise would have went and slapped Sean Connery over some female? You think Brad Pitt would have went up and slapped Billy Bob Thornton on stage because of some crap between them and Angelina Jolie? No. If anything, they'd have waited till the cameras was off and off stage and backstage and talked about it or thought about it. We'd have heard about it. We wouldn't have no video proof that it actually happened. So that way it would disappear from history and not be remembered.
That's right.
All right. Will Smith just set Black people back 100 years.
That's right.
Continue on.
In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband.
And that desire what?
Shall be to thy husband.
The desire is supposed to be to your husband, not the other way around. Go ahead.
Or to another man. This is saying to your husband.
To your husband.
Her desire to was it August Alsina was totally against what the Most High had women to do. He wanted the desire to be only to your husband.
That's right. That's right. Any more on that?
Go ahead. And he shall rule over thee.
And what?
And he shall rule over thee.
That's the part that Will Smith doesn't have.
Right.
You know what I mean? He shall rule over thee. You rule over your woman. You might have to fight your woman verbally. I ain't talking about physically, okay? Verbally. You may have to fight your woman verbally and spiritually. You're going to argue with her. She's going to get mad. She's going to call you names. She's going to go to sleep in a hush and a fuss. She's going to try to do dumb stuff like pull the cover off of you in the middle of the night. she gonna wake up in the morning with that same demon on her and argue with you, then you gotta stand strong.
That's right.
Go ahead.
I can, sir. It's crazy because now I'm reading this. This is exactly what happened in Will and Jada's relationship. She was in sorrow with her children, saying that she didn't pay them no attention.
Yep.
And then she said, then her desire for her husband left. She had no longer had desire for her husband, and then he didn't know how to run his damn household. And then that's how you get a dragon. We need to make a show called The Creation of a Dragon.
You know what? That is an excellent. We will. Damn right. That is done on that.
All right,
give me the Jeremiah 2:33, and we're gonna wrap this up. Now, as I said, you know, a lot of y'all, we've gone a long way, and it seems like what you may think what we did a lot was attack Jada, but what we really did was break down the dynamic of what happened with Will Smith tonight. And Jada is at the root of it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? His eye was evil toward his brother because of the woman because of that woman. Okay? He went and attacked his brother for no reason and made a spectacle of himself. There's other scriptures I wanted to bring out where the Lord said, y'all, that will be a byword and a proverb. Go ahead.
Jeremiah what?
Jeremiah 2:33. You know what I mean? You're going to be a byword and a proverb. You're going to be a Salaki. I might have to see Salaki. The scriptures is just so never ending, and I don't want to go over the time. But if I could, didn't the Lord say you'd be a spectacle? That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, that's I wanted to bring that out. And if you could, Baba Gashar, give me 1 Corinthians 4:9. We're going to go to that one first. Yeah, and then we're going to get that and we're going to wrap it up. So Will Smith proved so much of the Bible true with his little actions, you know what I mean? But the main thing is to realize that Will, if there was an Edomite up there on that stage, Will would not have went up and slapped him. He wouldn't have went up and slapped him.
Right.
Go ahead.
Or if it was one of our oppressors up on that stage.
God. The young man said if it was any of our or one of our oppressors on the stage. Now, and you have to understand the wisdom of these young Edomites are not our only oppressors. We are oppressed by Edomites. We're oppressed by East Indians. We are oppressed by Africans. We are oppressed by Asians. We are oppressed by Arabs. We're oppressed by Israelis, Jewish. Go ahead.
Salaki, sir, you go to any country on earth and you're going to see oppressed brothers in those countries. Anywhere you go.
Anywhere across this earth. Damn right.
If I could.
Go ahead.
And what you're saying is so heavy. While everybody is praying for Ukraine.
So like, go ahead.
I literally saw a video of Ukrainians in Ukraine beating the living snot out of a brother.
Yeah.
I mean, kicking him in the face, like stomping his face on the curb, like they did not care. It's, oh, you black. So now I can treat you now. Race wars is in Ukraine.
Yep. And and also I saw a video of, I don't know what it was, if it was a Hamite or a sister. Somebody with brown skin was in the car trying to leave the Ukraine when the war first started. And one of them Ukrainians went up to the car and said, oh man, he hit in the car. Like, where are you going? No, you can't go nowhere. Where are you going? So basically what he was saying is you can't leave the country.
Right.
You stuck here. You brown skinned, whatever you are.
Right.
You know what I mean? And a lot of the times Africans face discrimination when Edomites cannot distinguish them from Negroes.
Right.
So he probably thought this was an American Negro trying to leave, and he like, where is you going? You cannot leave this country. You can't go anywhere. Right. You're stuck here. Die here. That's what he was telling that sister. or that potential sister. I don't know if it was a sister or not. You know what I mean? But that's what he was telling this dark-skinned individual. Okay? And the reason that they was telling this dark-skinned individual this particular thing is because if you are a Negro, you are a slave. You are not allowed to flee from oppression. You are only allowed to serve and to die.
That's right.
Period.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? If you could, Baba Gashar.
Mm-hmm. 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 9.
Read.
For I think that God has set forth us, the apostles, last.
They said it again.
For I think that God has set forth us, the apostles, last.
Mm-hmm. Now, read.
As it were appointed to death.
Mm-hmm.
For we are made a spectacle.
We are made what?
A spectacle.
We are made a spectacle. Now, don't get it wrong. Will Smith is not an apostle.
Right.
Okay? Far from it.
Right.
He's a brother trapped into this world.
Right.
You know what I mean? But he is a part of the things that the Lord do to us. The Lord makes us a spectacle. Spectacle to who?
Unto the world.
Unto the world. Read.
And to angels.
Mm-hmm.
And to men.
So the Lord makes us a spectacle. Everybody's watching. Everybody's looking to see what we do. Everybody is paying attention to the Negroes. Okay? Even our other tribesmen. Okay? Even the northern tribe, even the 10 tribes, our Hispanic and Native American brothers, they closely pay attention to the southern tribe. They closely pay attention to the Negroes. They want to know what we're going to do. We set the pace and the flavor for everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the flavor of the world.
Damn right.
But don't get it wrong. Everybody pays attention to you Judites, you Benjamites. You know what I mean? You Levites. We're closely watched. We're very highly imitated on this planet. There's a reason for that. Okay? So what Will Smith just did, when I say it set black people back 100 years, it really did.
Right.
It is the worst type of spectacle. And what Will doesn't realize is the angels were watching him do it.
That's right.
The angels watched that interaction between him and his wife, seeing him being a servant to his wife instead of a servant to the Most High. And him being an attack dog for his wife instead of a soldier and a warrior, part of the Most High's army.
That's right.
Okay? The Lord said he'll make us fishers of men, but then he'll call for hunters. Will Smith is concerned with serving his wife and obviously hunting down his brothers. You know what I mean? And that's not what the Most High wants. What Will did last night was one of the weakest things a man can ever do.
Damn right.
And if you could, Baba Gashar, give me that Jeremiah 2:33.
Kadawakai, Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 33.
Read.
Why trimmest thou ways?
Why? What?
Why trimmest thou ways?
Now, a lot of times we use this scripture to describe how we change our behavior for our oppressors. Will Smith did that last night. Because guess what? His oppressor is his wife.
Right.
His oppressor is a black woman, not the Edomite man. You know what I mean? Not our former slave master and his mistress, but his woman, his wife, the one he shares his bed with. That's his oppressor.
Right.
Read.
To seek love.
To what?
To seek love.
Because Will said, what would you bring out on it? He said, I'm going to do what?
He said, I'm going to win you back.
I'm going to win you back. Negro, please.
Right.
Yeah, I felt like showing up right there. You know what I mean? Please. You ain't going to win that woman back. That ain't nothing to win back. That's a whore.
Right.
What do you want to win that back for? After she'd have been ran through and was getting run through in your house under your nose. Come on, man. You was asleep. They had a different pajama jammy jam while you was asleep. You know what I'm saying? Come on, you in your bed knocked out. She in his bed getting knocked down.
Right.
Come on, man, in your house. But you gonna win her back. Because you trying to impress not only that whore, but you're trying to impress the white man.
That's right.
You're trying to impress your oppressors that are watching because you're a good guy, Will. But what you're doing is setting a bad example for men under you,
Right.
men younger than you,
Right.
men that look up to you of
right.
all ages.
That's right.
But you know what? Who did set a good example? Commander General Yohana.
That's right.
You know what I mean? He set a good example for all of us. And that example still thrives on in this 12-year-old man, young man that is sitting right here in this class right now, knows better than to go and try to slap his brother over a female.
That's right.
As he stated earlier, he is wiser and braver than Will Smith will ever be.
Damn right.
You know what I mean? On that note, we are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. If it's not of the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, it is not the truth. My name is Priest and Officer 500 Mayad, joined by Priest Officer 500 Lakam Ya'ala and Priest and Officer 500 Kazawan. And this was the Monday night Brotherhood class. I'm turning the class over. That's my time, Ms. Rio. I turn the class over to Priest and Officer 500 Kazawan.
ISUPK security announcements. We at ISUPK started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for a new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21. Malachi 3, 8 through 10 means 10th in the Hebrew, ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department, the teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for the priest is not mandatory. It's whatsoever amount you would like. We got an upcoming Holy Convocation, the 53rd Lord's Passover.
That's right.
It's in Cold Florida, 301 Tucker Lane. All Blacks, Hispanics, North American Indians on April 15, 2022. You know what I'm saying? Are invited to the Lord's Passover to eat and drink and, be brotherly and sisterly to one another. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what we spoke about in the class today. You understand?
I'm right.
If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headbands, and scarves, we're going to do a courtesy salute to the teacher. Amadia. I mean, Stan. Men of Israel. Amadia Shabbat. Amadia. Barak. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat.
Yazamata. Class dismissed. I ain't doing how much I can't see. Damn. Oh, damn, I can't see the word.